All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. And the title of this lesson is going to be Take Heed to Yourselves. All right. Which I'm just going to get started with the first precept. This is Mark 14 and verse 38. Mark 14 and 38. Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. All right. So watch ye and pray. Why do you need to watch and pray? Because you need to be watching out for prophecies. All right. And praying that you be found worthy to escape these things that get ready to come to pass upon the planet Earth. And it says, lest ye enter in temptation. All right. Lest ye enter into temptation. All right. How are we tempted? Through the flesh. Okay. Because scriptures just read, as you know, scripture just said, as I read, the spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. The spirit is immortal. All right. The spirit is perfect. All right. The spirit is completely righteous. That spirit that's in you is righteous. All right. But the flesh that we're wearing is weak. All right. It gets tired. It gets hungry. It gets irritable. All right. It gets impatient. Okay. It gets lustful. All right. That's the deeds of the flesh. All right. But we're trying to manifest the deeds of the spirit. That's why we're trying to tap into the spirit. Okay. And going into lest you enter into temptation, coming into the time we're coming into, going into the hour of temptation, all right, which is going to try the whole world, all right, and all them that dwell upon the earth, all right. So this hour of temptation, all right, which consists of the mark of the beast, which we know through the spirit power Yahweh Shai, that it is the R50 microchip, all right. So if you don't watch and pray, okay, you're going to fall into that temptation. You're going to fall and fail that trial, okay? And you're going to be destroyed, all right? So I'll read Mark 14 again and 38. Mark 14 and 38. Watch ye and pray, all right? So watch and pray, that's crucial, all right? Prayer is a powerful tool, all right? We have to pray to our Heavenly Father, okay? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, so we don't what? So we don't become weak, all right? It says, watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. All right, so that's why we have to mortify this weak flesh. We have to put off the weak nature, the mortal man. All right, the old man. We have to put on the new man. All right, we tap into that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai by His words. All right, and that's why ultimately we're in the world. All right, because we're just like Yahweh Shai was perfected on this side. Okay, we're getting perfected on the side, and He was perfected by trials and tribulations. Okay, what did it say? Made perfect through sorrows or sufferings, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so this is why we're here on earth, because we're being perfected. All right, so perfection comes with trials. Okay, so ultimately it's we're being tested. All right, but here, this is Galatians chapter 5 and Galatians 5, and I'll start at verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So, our strength is tapping into the spirit. Okay. And when we walk in the spirit, that's how we can going into rebuking the tempter, going to Satan, because he tempts you through your flesh. All right. But that's why we have things like fasting. Okay. And fasting doesn't have to be, so to say, not eating. Okay, you can fast from whatever you have of as far as a weakness of you. All right, if you like watching too much folly on YouTube, have a fast on folly on YouTube. This is how you, which I'm gonna get in Romans 8th chapter, going into mortifying your members. All right, but here Galatians 5 and 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, all right, in the word, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Okay, take heed to the instructions, all right, that we've been given. All right, and because a lot of this walk, it requires discipline. Okay, obedience and discipline. All right, the Lord's raising up men. All right, He says going into being a good soldier. Right, it's verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. These are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. All right, so that's why ultimately we have this grace period, because we all fell short of the glory. Okay, so knowing that we cannot alone conquer this by ourselves, all right, we needed one greater, one higher. All right, and that was what the Heavenly Father sent His only begotten Son, Yahushai. Okay, so that's how we got the victory. But just because we already won, spiritually, okay, it has not happened yet physically. All right, and that's going to manifest soon. But until that point, we have to continue to put off and fight this man. Okay, going into our flesh. All right. So it says that so that you cannot do the things that you would, because again, eventually at some point in time, you're going to go off. All right. You're going to slip. You're going to fall. All right. But going into, more. Well, I'm gonna just get it because I keep quoting it. But wait, let me before I get that, let me go read down to verse 19 here. This is Galatians 5:19. We're trying to manifest good works, right? Because going to making your body as a living sacrifice, it's what, putting off, those unrighteous deeds. Okay, these unrighteous pretty much behaviors that we were involved in. Okay, because we were once in darkness, but now we're in light, so we have to walk in light, and we manifest our light, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. All right, so if you're walking in the flesh, all right, these deeds are going to manifest. All right, here: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like. Right? So these things are going to manifest if you do mind the things of the flesh. All right? Because in the flesh dwelleth no good thing. All right? So, because I'm just going to get Romans 8. I'm going to keep quoting from Romans 8 here, continuing. Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. So that's why it's crucial for you to put off these deeds of the flesh, because as we just read, it says they which do such things. Okay, so it's not the sin that's going to be the Lord hates, it's the sinner. Okay, because these are actions. All right, so it says that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Okay, they're not going to be the first fruits, so they're not acceptable. All right, so verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. And what is love? Keeping of the commandments. All right, keeping of the commandments of Yahweh Shai. Joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So, with the deeds of the Spirit manifesting, okay, this is our success. Okay, and this is the spirit we're supposed to be in. Okay, or strive to be in at all times. Okay, especially with the time we're coming into. All right, it says meekness, temperance. All right, faith, especially faith. Okay, above all, the shield of faith. Okay, because if you're in the flesh, you cannot have faith. All right, you have to tap into the Spirit. All right, the Spirit has no want of things. Okay, the Spirit just wants to be perfect. All right, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be literally angels on the earth. And there's a time and point for that. All right, but it says be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Okay, it's possible. All right, and we can strive. Okay, of course, we're not going to, because we're not going to be exalted above Yahushai, but it's still something that we're striving for. Okay, and you should take pride in this. Now, a good pride. All right, this is verse 24. And they that are Yahushai, it says Christ, but Yahushai's have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. Okay, so you crucified it, you killed it. Okay, you put it up. All right, because ultimately, what's more important to you is the love of Yahushai, Yahweh Shai. Okay. Everything you lost is all to gain Yahushai. It's counted all as dung. Okay. And it's going to be something greater in the kingdom for you. All right. So it's verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Okay. So being not just hearers only, but doers. Okay. All right. Faith and works. You have to show your faith by your works. All right. You believe in this thing. So go ahead And like Tyler's lesson says, take heed of yourself. Okay, because I'm gonna get in more into it. But here, verse 26, let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. Okay, so our glory is to come. All right, putting your treasures in heaven. All right, not focusing on getting petty W's on this side because it's all vain. All right, we're just here, to serve our time. And when the Lord returns, we know He's gonna change our vile body like onto His glorious body. Okay, that's when we can worry about glory. Okay, when we're perfect, but we're not perfect right now. All right, but here I was quoting Romans 8 a lot, so this is our Romans 8, and I'll just start at verse 5. So Romans 8, start at verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Right, so if you're in the flesh, you do mind the things of the flesh. So meaning getting these characteristics. Okay, because I'm gonna get into where was it at? I think it was in Luke, going into surfeiting. Okay, being pretty much overindulgent. Okay, too much of it. All right, you have to balance yourself out. Because it's very important in this thing to have balance. But if you're too far left, okay, which is going into the flesh, you're gonna fall off. Okay, how does scripture say? Talk about not being over righteous or being over wicked. All right, but here, oops, I lost it. Here, Romans 8 and 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. They want to feed themselves all the time, and again, going into that point of gluttony. All right, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. Okay, so we're desirous of spiritual gifts. Okay, because these spiritual gifts that we're desiring are far more powerful than things of the flesh. Okay, because the things of the flesh are temporal, the things of the Spirit are immortal. All right, we want to live ultimately. Okay, because we read earlier in Galatians, what is it? Is it Galatians? Oh no, it's in Romans 8. I says yeah, I'm skipping around slug. Let me get into it. We'll get back into it. It's Romans 8, and I'll read down. I'll get to that point. Romans 8 in verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death. And hey, this is pretty much the same thing. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So, because we just read, in Galatians 5th chapter that, the fruits of the Spirit is peace. Okay, and life. Okay, peace. Because why? Because we're at one with our power. All right, and life, because we've been given life, because we've been granted life because of our obedience. Okay, going into that tree of life. All right, yeah. So to be carnally minded is death. So continue reading verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. All right, enmity means you're an enemy. Okay, you cannot serve the Lord if you're carnally minded. You have to be spiritually minded. Okay, because the scriptures say that it is impossible to please Him without faith. All right, and if you're in the flesh, you cannot have faith. All right, continuing. For it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. All right, because the flesh is a monster. Okay, that's why the Lord called our people scorpions, and brute beasts. All right, because they're uncontrollable. All right, they're out of control. It's verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. There you go. All right, you cannot please the Most High, so you can't serve Him. All right. It's verse 9. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Okay, so that's why scriptures say, greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. All right, so the Lord is supposed to be inside of you, being His word. All right, constantly meditating, putting your heart, mind, body, and soul towards the Lord. Okay, meditating on His words. All right, and it might not be, so to say, you're thinking about precepts 24/7. Okay, every thing you utter is a precept. Because a lot of us aren't built like that. But it's a vibration that you have. You put out when you're in the world. Okay, a righteous vibration. All right, that the world most of the time gets offended of. Okay, and they don't understand. All right, but nonetheless, the light of the Lord dwells within you. All right, continuing. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Yahushai, or it says Christ, he is none of His. All right, so when the Lord returns, He's coming back to save somebody, who? His servants. All right, so everybody else is gonna be thrown in the fire. Okay, the Lord's coming to save His sheep, those that hear His words. All right, so if you don't have the Spirit on you, the Lord is not going to redeem you. Okay, because you're not His. All right, you serve Satan. All right, verse 10. And And if Yahushua be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. So, you know, that's what we want to do. We want to live, okay? You know, we want to be perfect, you know? So we're after things of the spirit because we want to please him that had made us, okay? But here, I was kind of roughly quoting, it's verse 13, move down. Romans 8:13, for if you live after the flesh, ye shall die. Okay, so if you live after the flesh, you're going to die. That's why a lot of our people on the side are not going to make it. All right, they'll be in the kingdom, but in this time and period, all right, and they're not gonna make it. They're gonna perish. Okay, because they're after the flesh. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. So mortify. Okay, put up. Okay, you know, just going back to crucifying the flesh. Okay, putting that up. All right, you know, not grabbing a whole bag of Doritos, whole box of Doritos, and just stuffing your mouth up. All right, and that could be an example for anything you got going on in your life. Okay, too much around women. All right, too much playing video games. Too much, whatever. Too much stuff that's not profitable to the things of the spirit. Okay, you know, you want to listen to music. You know, nigga music all day. Okay, you know, there's a point and time for it. You know, but not all day, because these things put spirits on you. All right, because all these niggas talk about is things of the flesh. Okay, you know, effing women and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that spirit's gonna be put on you if you're not strong enough. All right, if you're giving too much into it, because what scripture say, give no place for the devil. Okay, so you're not supposed to give him no opportunities, because he's what, as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. All right, I'm gonna get a couple more and then get out of here. This is Romans chapter 6. Romans 6:12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. So you're supposed to fight it. Okay, this thing is a fight. All right, so if you're always giving into the flesh, you're weak. Okay, you're weak. All right, because we just read earlier that the flesh is weak. So if you're giving into the flesh, you're weak. All right, you're weak. All right, and you're gonna be taken down these times to come. So let not sin reign in your body. All right, so as we know that we're under grace. Okay, we have liberty in Yahushua, but it does not give, because it's gonna read. I'm just go ahead and read this verse 13. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. So it's not an excuse, because you're not perfect. That's not an excuse. Okay, it's a striving, and ultimately the Lord knows your heart. Okay, so you know, when we fall short at, the Lord knows that we need to be fixed. We need a physician. Okay, but if you're not attempting, all right, to even try, all right, you're going to be found guilty. Okay, and the Lord's not going to cover you, because ultimately you don't believe in him. All right, so it says verse 13, neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto the Most High as those that are alive from the dead. And because we read earlier, if you're in the flesh, you're gonna die. You're dead. Okay, but if you're in the spirit, you're alive. Okay, we're the only people alive going to the hopeful elect. All right, we're the only people alive on this earth right now. All right, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto the Most High. So again, going into making your body as a living sacrifice. All right, showing and proving what is that acceptable and good will of Yahweh Shai. All right, using our bodies for an example, all right, of righteousness. All right, not for wickedness. We have too many examples of wickedness on the planet Earth. Right? Our people need to see righteousness. That's why scriptures talk about let your light shine before men. All right, so they can see. All right, and ultimately what? See Yahweh Shai. Okay, it's verse 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. So again, that's where the Lord comes in. You know, is he going into making us, not making us, pretty much, you know, giving us grace so that what, ultimately he can save us. Okay, because if we're perfect, what do we need to be saved for? All right, you know, so, you know, the grace is extremely important, well, for us, because we would all be dead if it wasn't for grace. But again, we read up earlier that it's not an excuse, pretty much. All right, but not trying to lose my train of thought. I'm gonna close out here. Just Luke 21, and I'll start at verse 34. Luke 21 and 34. And take heed to yourselves. All right, so that's the title's lesson. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, all right, and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that day come upon you unaware. So, you know, being that day talking about the day of the Lord. All right, so take heed to yourselves. All right, because, you know, the majority of your time, you're with who? With yourself. Even when you're around people, you're with yourself. All right, So your salvation is on the line. All right. You have to worry about yourself. Okay. Scriptures talk about make your calling election sure. All right. Many are called, few are chosen. All right. You know, serve the Most High. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. You have to, because the elect going to be fine. All right. The elect are going to make it. But the point is, we don't know if we're part of the elect. All right. So we should be on our best behaviors. All right. And not making excuses all the time. All right. But going to that word, what was it? Surfeiting, right? The word surfeiting pretty much means excess, what excess quantity, you can say, too much. All right. Again, you have to find balance. All right. So if you have too much of something, you overdo. All right. You're imbalanced. Okay. And the Lord said a false balance is an abomination. All right. If you're too much around your family, if you're too much in things that are taking away from the Lord, you're going to fall into this category. Okay. I read again Luke 21:34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, your mind be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. All right. And when you say someone's drunk, another way you can say someone's drunk is they're intoxicated. All right. And intoxicated means you're poisoned, so you're going to poison yourself. All right. And drunk, talking about these philosophies, these ways of life. All right. You're going to get too far into it. You're going to start caring about this world. All right. And you're going to be a goner. All right. Before you know it. All right. And that day's going to come upon you unawares because you're not watching no more. You're not praying no more. All right. And you gave up to that weak nature. Verse 35, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. All right. Why? Because they're in the flesh. Is verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of the Most High. So, that's why, scriptures talk about examine yourselves. All right. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. All right. Prove your own selves. Okay. Prove your own self. All right. So, that's why Yahushua said, as men as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Okay. You're supposed to be hot. It says be zealous. Right. And going into enduring chastening. All right. That's how the Lord deals with you. All right. But if you be without, that means you're not partakers and you're bastards. All right. So, what we're going through is beautiful. All right. Because you have to think about the end product. Okay. You have what's the final product. All right. And the final product is us being perfect, being God's on the planet Earth. And it's a process. All right. We're very close, Lord's will, to that process being finished. But until then, we're supposed to continue to work on ourselves and let the Lord work on us, through us. All right. So that we can glorify him upon the planet Earth, which we've been designed and made to do in the first place. All right. But that's pretty much it. So with that, those words be edifying. As always, want to give all praise to Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole